The tragedy of Macbeth. Actus primus, scona prima. Thunder and lightning, enter three witches. 1. When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain? 2. When the hurly-burly's done. When the battle's lost and won. 3. That will be ere the set of sun. 1. Where the place. 2. Vipon the heath. 3. There to meet with Macbeth. 1. I come grey Malkin. All, paddock calls anon. Fair is foul and foul is fair. Hower through the fog and filthy air. Exeunt. Scena secunda. Alarum within. Enter King, Malcolm, Donalbain, Lennox with attendants, meeting a bleeding captain. King, what bloody man is that? He can report, as seemeth by his plight, of the ruled. The newest state. Mal, this is the Syriant, who like a good and hardy soldier fought. Gainst my captivity, hail braw friend. Say to the king, the knowledge of the broil, as thou didst low it. Cap, doubtful it stood, as two spent swimmers, that doe cling together, and choke their art, the merciless MacDonald. Worthy to be a rebel, for to that, the multiplying villainies of nature, doe swarm upon him, from the western isles. Of kerns and gallogrosses is supplied, and fortune on his damned quarry smiling, showed like a rebel's whore, but all's too weak. For braw Macbeth, well he deserves that name, disdaining fortune, with his brandished steel, which smoked with bloody execution. Like valor's minion, corrode out his passage, till he fact the slaw, which newer shook hands, nor bade farewell to him, till he vien seemed him from the gnaw toth chops, and fixed his head vipon our battlements. King, O valiant cousin, worthy gentleman. Cap, as whence the sun gins his reflection, shipwracking storms and direful thunders, so from that spring, whence comfort seemed to come, discomfort swells. Mark, King of Scotland, mark. No sooner Eustis had, with valor armed, compelled these skipping kerns to trust their heels, but the Norwegian lord, surreying vantage, with furbished arms and new supplies of men, began a fresh assault. King, dismayed not this our captains Macbeth and Banquo. Cap, yes, as sparrows, eagles, or the hare, the lion. If I say sooth, I must report they were as cannons hour-charged with double cracks. So they doubly redoubled strokes vipon the foe, except they meant to bathe in reeking wounds, or memorize another Golgotha. I cannot tell, but I am faint. My gashes cry for help. King, so well thy words become thee as thy wounds. They smack of honor both. Go get him surgeons. Enter Ross and Angus. Who comes here? Mal, the worthy thane of Ross. Lennox, what a haste looks through his eyes. So should he look, that seems to speak things strain. Ross, God saw the king. King, whence cam'st thou, worthy thane? Ross, from fifth great king, where the Norwegian banners float the sky, and fan our people cold. Norway himself, with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict, till that Bellona's bridegroom, lapped in proof, confronted him with self-comparisons, point against point, rebellious arm gainst arm, curbing his loish spirit, and to conclude, the victory fell on Versus. King, great happiness. Ross, that now Sweno, the Norway's king. Craw's composition. Nor would we dainy him bury all of his men, till he disbursed, at St. Calma's Inch, $10,000 to our general VSC. King, no more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive you. Our bosom interest, go pronounce his present death, and with his former title greet Macbeth. Ross, I'll see it done. King, what he hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won. Exeunt. Scena tertia. Thunder, enter the three witches. 1. Where hast thou been, sister? 2. Killing swine. 3. Sister, where thou? 1. A sailor's wife had chestnuts in her lap. And mounked, and mounked, and mounked. Giu me, quoth I. Errant thee, witch, the rump-fed Ranian cries. Her husband's to Aleppo gone, master oath tiger. But in a Sioux I'll thither sail, and like a rat without a tail. I'll do, and I'll do. 2. I'll giu thee a wind. 1. Th kind. 3. And I another. 1. I myself har all the other. And the very ports they blow, all the quarters that they know. Shipman's card. I'll drain him dry as hay. Sleep shall neither night nor day. Hang vipon his penthouse lid. He shall leave you a man forbid. Wary sunets, 9 times 9. Shall he dwindle, peak and pine. Though his bark cannot be lost, yet it shall be tempest-tossed. Look what I haw. 2. Show me, show me. 1. Here I haw a pilot's thumb racked, as homeward he did come. Drum within. 3. A drum, a drum. Macbeth doth come. All, the wayward sisters, hand in hand. Posters of the sea and land. Thus do go, about. Thrice to thine, and thrice to mine. And thrice again, to make VP 9. Peace, the charms wound VP. Enter Macbeth and Banquo. Macbeth, so foul and fair a day I ha not seen. Banquo, how far is't called to sore eyes? What are these? So withered, and so wilde in their attire, that look not like inhabitants oath earth. And yet our aunt, liu you, or are you aught? That man may question, you seem to understand me. By each at once her choppy finger laying. Vpon her skinny lips, you should be women. And yet your beards forbid me to interpret that you are so. Max, speak if you can, what are you? 1. All hail Macbeth, hail to the Thane of Glamis. 2. All hail Macbeth, hail to the Thane of Cawdor. 3. All hail Macbeth, that shalt be king hereafter. Bank, good sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair, a name of truth? Witches vanish. Bank, the earth hath bubbles as the water has. And these are of them, whither are they vanished? Chapter 1000. Acp, into the air, and what seemed corporal. Chapter 1000. Elted as breath into the wind. Would they had stayed. Bank, were such things here as we do speak about? Or ha we eaten on the insane route? That takes the reason prisoner. Chapter 1000. Acp, your children shall be kings. Bank, you shall be king. Chapter 1000. Acp, and Thane of Cawdor too, when it not so. Bank, toth self-same tune and words, who's here? Enter Ross and Angus. Ross, the king hath happily received Macbeth. The news of thy success, and when he reads thy personal venture in the rebels' sight, his wonders and his praises do contend. Which should be thine or his, silent with that. Chapter 1. En viewing Ari the rest oath self-same day. He finds thee in the stout Norwayan ranks. Nothing afeard of what thyself didst make. Strange images of death, as thick as tale. Chapter 100. And post with post, and Ewry one did bear thy praises in his kingdom's great defense, and powered them down before him. Ang, we are sent to giu thee from our royal master thanks. Onely to herald thee into his sight, not pay thee. Ross, and for an earnest of a greater honor, he bade me from him call thee Thane of Cawdor. Chapter 1. En which edition hail most worthy Thane, for it is thine. Bank, what can the duel speak true? Chapter 1000. Acp, the Thane of Cawdor leus. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes? Ang, who was the Thane leus yet? But viender hoi judgment bears that life. which he deserves to lose. Whether he was combined with those of Norway, or did line the rebel with hidden help and vantage, or that with both he labored. Chapter 1. In his country's raki I know not, but treason's capital, confessed and prude, ha overthrown him. Chapter 1000. Akp, Glamis and Thane of Cawdor. The greatest is behind, thanks for your pains. Chapter 500. O ye not hope your children shall be kings, when those that gaw the Thane of Cawdor to me promised no less to them. Bank, that trusted home. Chapter 1001. GHT yet enkindle UVNTO the crown. Besides the Thane of Cawdor, but 'tis strange, and oftentimes, to win verses to our harm. The instruments of darkness tell verses truths. Win verses with honest trifles, to betrays. Chapter 1. And deepest consequence. Chapter 100. Ousins a word I pray you. Chapter 1000. Akp, two truths are told, as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. I thank you, gentlemen. This supernatural soliciting. Chapter 100. Cannot be ill, cannot be good. Chapter 1. F ill, why hath it you and me earnest of success? Chapter 100. Immersing in a truth, I am Thane of Cawdor. Chapter 1. F good, why do I yield to that suggestion, whose horrid image doth vn fix my air, and make my seated heart knock at my ribs, against the VSE of nature, present fear, are less than horrible imaginings. Chapter 1000. Why thought, whose murder yet is but fantastical, shakes so my single state of man, that function is smothered in surmise, and nothing is but what is not. Bank, look how our partners wrapped. Chapter 1000. Akp, if chance will haw me king, why chance may crown me without my stirra. Bank, new honors come upon him. Chapter 51. Key our strange garments clow not to their mold, but with the aid of VSC. Chapter 1000. Akp, come what come may. Time and the hour runs through the roughest day. Bank, worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure. Chapter 1000. Akp, gium your four. Chapter 1000. Why dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Kind gentlemen, your pains are registered. Where Uri day I turn the leaf to read them. Chapter 50. At V's toward the king, think vpon. What hath chanked, and at more time. The interim hoing waited, let V's speak. Our free hearts each to other. Bank, very gladly. Chapter 1000. Akp, till then enough. Chapter 100. Om friends. Exeunt. Shana Quarta. Flourish. Enter King Lennox Malcolmy Donalbain and attendants. King, is execution done on Cawdor, or not those in commission yet returned? Chapter 1000. Al, my liege, they are not yet come back. But I ha spoke with one that saw him die, who did report that very frankly he. Chapter 100. Onfessed his treasons, implored your highness pardon, and set forth a deep repentance. Nothing in his life became him. Chapter 51. Key the lowing it, he died, as one that had been studied in his death, to throw away the dearest thing he owed, as twere a careless trifle. King, there's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. He was a gentleman, on whom I built an absolute trust. Enter Macbeth, Banquo, Ross, and Angus. O worthiest cousin, the sin of my ingratitude Ewan now was hoey on me, thou art so far before. That swiftest wing of recompense is slow. To overtake thee, would thou hadst less deserved, that the proportion both of thanks and payment. Chapter 1001. GHT ha been mine, onely I ha left to say. Chapter 1000. Or is thy due, then more than all can pay. Chapter 1000. Acp, the service and the loyalty I owe. Chapter 1. And doing it pays itself. Your Highness part is to receive our duties. And our duties are to your throne and state. Chapter 100. Hildren and Sarowants, which do but what they should. By doing you everything safe toward your low. And honor. King, welcome hither. Chapter 1. Ha begun to plant thee, and will labor. To make thee full of growing, noble banquo. That hast no less deserved, nor must be known. No less to ha done so, let me enfold thee. And hold thee to my heart. Bank, there if I grow. The harroost is your own. King, my plenteous goys. Wanton in fullness, seek to hide themselves. Chapter 1. End drops of sorrow, sons, kinsmen, thanes. And you whose places are the nearest, know. We will establish our estate vpon. Our eldest, Malcolmy, whom we name hereafter. The Prince of Cumberland, which honor must. Not veen accompanied, and used him onely. But signs of nobleness, like stars, shall shine. On all deservers, from hence to inverns. And bind these further to you. Chapter 1000. Acp, the rest is labor which is not vest for you. Chapter 49. Be myself the herbinger, and make I full. The hearing of my wife, with your approach. So humbly take my low. King, my worthy Cawdor. Chapter 1000. Acp, the Prince of Cumberland, that is a step. On which I must fall down, or else a releap. For in my way it lies, stars hide your fires. Chapter 50. At not light see my black and deep desires. The eye wink at the hand, yet let that be. Which the eye fears, when it is done to see. Enter. King, true worthy Banquo, he is full so valiant. And in his commendations, I am fed. Chapter 1. Tea is a banquet to me, let's after him. Whose care is gone before, to bid versus welcome. Chapter 1. Tea is a peerless kinsman. Flourish, exeunt. Shana Quinta. Enter Macbeth's wife alone with a letter. Chapter 50. Adai. They met me in the day of success, and I ha learned by the perfectsty report they ha more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burnt in desire to question them further, they made themselves air into which they vanished. Whiles I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came misuse from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title before. These wayward sisters saluted me, and referred me to the coming on of time, with hail king that shalt be. This ha I thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightst not loose the dews of re-icing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart and farewell. Glamies thou art and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet though I fear thy nature, it is too full of milk of humane kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. What thou wouldst highly, that wouldst thou holily, wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst wrongly win. Thouldst ha, great Glamies, that which cries, thus thou must do if thou ha it, and that which rather thou doest fear to do, than wishest should be viendone. Hie thee hither, that I may power my spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impades thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysical eye doth seem to ha thee crowned withal. Enter messenger. What is your tidings? Chapter 1000. The king comes here tonight. Chapter 50. Adai, thou it mad to say it. Chapter 1. Not thy master with him, who, wert so, would ha informed for preparation. Chapter 1000. So please you it is true, our Thane is coming. One of my fellows had the speed of him, who almost dead for breath, had scarcely more. Then would make VP his message. Chapter 50. Adai, Giu him tending. He brings great news. Exit messenger. The Ron himself is hoarse. That croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan. Chapter 5. Ender my battlements, come you spirits. That tend on mortal thoughts, vien sex me here. And fill me from the crown to the toe, top full. Of direst cruelty, make thick my blood. Stop VPTH excess, and passage to remorse. That no compunctious visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between. Effect and hit, come to my woman's breasts, and take my milk for gall, you mirthring ministers. Where you are, in your sightless substances, you wait on nature's mischief, come thick night, and pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor hoe and peep through the blanket of the dark, to cry hold, hold. Enter Macbeth. Great Glamis, worthy Cawdor, greater than both, by the all-hail hereafter. Thy letters ha transported me beyond this ignorant present, and I feel now the future and the instant. Chapter 1000, Acp, my dearest Lau. Chapter 500, Uncan comes here tonight. Chapter 50, Adai, and when goes hence. Chapter 1000, Acp, tomorrow as he purposes. Chapter 50, Adai, O newer. Shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my Thane, is as a book where men. Chapter 1000, I read strange matters to beguile the time. Chapter 50, Ook like the time, bear welcome in your eye. Your hand, your tongue, look like innocent flower. But be the serpent dirt, he that's calming. Chapter 1000, us be proided for, and you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall to all our nights and days to come give you solely sour rainy sway and masterdom. Chapter 1000, Acp, we will speak further. Chapter 50, Adai, onely look VP clear. To alter for, your is to fear. Chapter 50, owe all the rest to me. Exeunt. Shana Sexta. Haboys and torches. Enter King Malcolmy Donal Bane. Banquo Lennox. Chapter 1000, Macduff, Ross, Angus, and attendants. King, this castle hath a pleasant seat. The air nimbly and sweetly recommends itself. Chapter 5, Intio our gentle senses. Bank, this guest of summer. The temple-haunting varlet does a prow by his loud masonry that the hoen's breath smells wooingly here, no airy freeze. Buttress, nor coigny of vantage, but this bird hath made his pendant bed and procreant cradle, where they must breed and haunt, I ha observed. The air is delicate. Enter Lady. King, see our honored hostess. The Lao that follows versus, sometime is our trouble, which still we thank as Lao. Herein I teach you how you shall bid God-iled V's for your pains, and thank V's for your trouble. Chapter 50, Adai, all our Sarawis. Chapter 1, En Yuri point twice done, and then done double. We're poor and single business to contend against those honors deep and broad, wherewith your majesty loads our house. For those of old, and the late dignities, heaped VP to them, we rest your ermites. King, where's the Thane of Cawdor? We coursed him at the heels, and had a purpose to be his purier, but he rides well. And his great Lao, sharp as his spur, hath holp him to his home before versus, fair and noble hostess. We are your guests tonight. Chapter 50, your Sarawants ewer. Ha theirs themselves, and what is theirs in compt? To make their audit at your highness' pleasure. Still to return your own. King, give me your hand. Chapter 100, Onduct me to mine host we allow him highly, and shall continue our graces towards him. By your low hostess. Exeunt. Shana Septima. Haboys, torches, enter a sewer and dewers Sarawants with dishes. And Sarawis hour the stage, then enter Macbeth. Chapter 1000, Acp, if it were done when 'tis done, then 'twere well. Chapter 1, T were done quickly, if assassination. Chapter 100, Ud trammel VP the consequence and catch. with his surcease success, that but this blow. Chapter 1001, GHT be the be-all and the end-all, here. But here, vpon this bank and school of time. Wield the life to come, but in these cases, we still ha judgment here, that we but teach. Bloody instructions, which being taught return. To plague in winter, this ewan-handed eustis. Chapter 100, almonds ingredients of our poisoned chalice. To our own lips, he's here in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject. Strong both against the deed, then as his host. Who should against his murderer shut the door. Not bear the knife myself, besides this Duncan. Hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of his taking off, and pity, like a naked newborn babe, striding the blast, or Hohen's cherubin horsed. Chapter 5, upon the sightless couriers of the air, shall blow the horrid deed in Uri. That tears shall drown the wind, I ha no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but onely. Chapter 5, alting ambition which o'erleaps itself, and falls on other. Enter Lady. How now, what news? Chapter 50, he is almost supped, why ha you left the chamber? Chapter 1000, AC, hath he asked for me? Chapter 50, know you not he has. Chapter 1000, AC, we will proceed no further in this business. He hath honored me of late, and I ha bought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon. Chapter 50, was the hope drunk, wherein you dressed yourself, hath it slept since, and wakes it now to look so green and pale, at what it did so freely, from this time. Such I account thy low, art thou, to be the same in thine own act and valor, as thou art in desire, wouldst thou ha that, which thou esteem'st the ornament of life, and leave you a coward in thine own esteem. Chapter 50, I dare not, wait vpon I would. Chapter 51, Key the poor cat i'th adage. Chapter 1000, prithee peace. Chapter 1, dare do all that may become a man. Who dares do more is none. Chapter 50, what beast wast then? That made you break this enterprise to me. When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be more than what you were, you would be so much more the man, nor time nor place. Chapter 999, then add here, and yet you would make both. They ha made themselves, and that their fitness now. Chapter 500, Os vien make you, I ha you and suck and know how tender 'tis to allow the babe that milks me. Chapter 1, would, while it was smiling in my face, ha plucked my nipple from his boneless gums, and dashed the brains out, had I so sworn, as you ha done to this. Chapter 1000, if we should fail. Chapter 50, we fail. But screw your courage to the sticking place, and we'll not fail, when Duncan is asleep. Whereto the rather shall his days hard your nigh. Soundly anoint him, his two chamberlains. Will I with wine, and wassail so canoance. That memory, the warder of the brain, shall be a fume, and the receipt of reason. A limbeck only, when in swinish sleep, their drenched natures lies as in a death. What cannot you and I perform vpon? Unguarded Duncan, what not put vpon? His spongy officers, who shall bear the guilt of our great quell. Chapter 1000, bring forth men children onely, for thy daunted metal should compose nothing but males, will it not be received? When we ha marked with blood those sleep I too, of his own chamber, and vs their very daggers, that they ha don't. Chapter 50, who dares receive you at other, as we shall make our griefs and clamor roar. Chapter 5, Pawn his death. Chapter 1000, Acp, I am settled and bend VP. Each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away, and mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide what the false heart doth know. Exeunt. Actus secundus, scena prima. Enter Banquo and Fleance, with a torch before him. Bank, how goes the night, boy? Fleance, the moon is down, I ha not heard the. Chapter 150, Och. Bank, and she goes down at 12. Fleance, I taked, tease later, sir. Bank, hold, take my sword. There's husbandry in Hoenn. Their candles are all out, take thee that too. A hoey summons lies like lead upon me. And yet I would not sleep. Chapter 1000, Ursiful powers restrain in me the cursed thoughts. That nature Jehu's way to in repose. Enter Macbeth, and a Saruant with a torch. Jehu me my sword, who's there? Chapter 1000, Acp, a friend. Bank, what sir not yet at rest? The king's abed. He hath been in vain usual pleasure, and sent forth great largesse to your offices. This diamond he greets your wife withal, by the name of most kind hostess, and shut VP and measureless content. Chapter 1000, AC, being VN prepared. Our will became the Saruant to defect, which else should free ha rot. Bank, all's well. Chapter 1, Dreamt last night of the 3 wayward sisters. To you they ha showed some truth. Chapter 1000, Acp, I think not of them. Yet when we can entreat an hour to Saru, we would spend it in some words, vpon that business. Chapter 1, if you would grant the time. Bank, at your kind'sty leisure. Chapter 1000, Acp, if you shall clow to my consent. When tease, it shall make honor for you. Bank, so I lose none. Chapter 1, and seeking to augment it but still keep. Chapter 1000, why bosom franchised and allegiance clear. Chapter 1, shall be counselled. Chapter 1000, Acp, good repose the while. Bank, thanks sir, the like to you. Exit Banquo. Chapter 1000, Acp, go bid thy mistress when my drink is ready. She strike vpon the bell, get thee to bed. Enter. Chapter 1, this a dagger which I see before me. The handle toward my hand, come, let me clutch thee. Chapter 1, haw thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight, or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation, proceeding from the heat-oppressed brain? Chapter 1, see thee yet in form as palpable as this which now I draw. Thou marshalst me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I was to VSE. Chapter 1001, ne eyes are made the fool's oath other senses, or else worth all the rest, I see thee still, and on thy blade and dudgeon gouts of blood, which was not so before, there's no such thing. Chapter 1, T is the bloody business which informs. Thus to mine eyes, now aree the 1/2 world. Nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse. The curtains sleep, witchcraft celebrates. Pale Hecat's offerings, and withered murder. Alarumed by his sentinel, the wolf, whose howls his watch, thus with his stealthy pace, with Tarquin's rishing sides, towards his Dezeen. Chapter 1000, owls like a ghost, thou sower in firm-set earth. Hear not my steps, which they may walk for fear. Thy very stones prate of my whereabout, and take the present horror from the time, which now suits with it, whiles I threat he leus. Words to the heat of deeds, too cold breath Jehu's. A bell rings. Chapter 1, go and it is done, the bell inuits me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to Hoenn, or to hell. Enter. Scena secunda. Enter Lady Chapter 50. That which hath made the drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. Hark, peace, it was the owl that shrieked. The fatal bellman, which geus the sternsty good night. He is about it, the doors are open, and the surfeited grooms do mock their char. With snores, I ha drug their possets, that death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die. Enter Macbeth. Chapter 1000. Who's there, what hoa? Chapter 50. Die, alack, I am afraid they ha whacked. And 'tis not done, attempt and not the deed. Chapter 100. Enfants vis, hark, I laid their daggers ready. He could not miss 'em, had he not resembled. Chapter 1000. Why father as he slept I had don't. Chapter 1000. Why husband? Chapter 1000. I ha done the deed. Chapter 999. Sint thou not hear a noise? Chapter 50. Die, I heard the owls shream and the crickets cry. Chapter 999. Not you speak. Chapter 1000. When? Chapter 50. Die, now. Chapter 1000. As I descended. Chapter 50. Die, I. Chapter 1000. Hark, who lies i'th second chamber. Chapter 50. Die, Donal Bane. Chapter 1000. AC, this is a sorry sight. Chapter 50. Die, a foolish thought to say a sorry sight. Chapter 1000. There's one did laugh in sleep, and one cried murther, that they did wake each other. Chapter 1. Stood and heard them, but they did say their prayers, and addressed them agging to sleep. Chapter 50. Die, there are two lodged together. Chapter 1000. One cried God bless these and amen the other, as they had seen me with these hangman's hands. Chapter 51. Esteeming their fear I could not say amen, when they did say God bless these. Chapter 50. Die, consider it not so deeply. Chapter 1000. AC, but wherefore could not I pronounce amen? Chapter 1. Had most need of blessing, and amen stuck in my throat. Chapter 50. Die, these deeds must not be thought. After these ways, so it will make versus mad. Chapter 1000. Methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more. Chapter 1000. Macbeth does murther sleep, the innocent sleep. Sleep that knits VP the rald slew of care. The death of each day's life, sore labor's bath. Balmy of hurt minds, great nature's second course. Chapter 100. Heath nourisher in life's feast. Chapter 50. Die, what do you mean? Chapter 1000. Still it cried, sleep no more to all the house. Glamis hath murthered sleep, and therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more, Macbeth shall sleep no more. Chapter 50. Die, who was it that thus cried, why worthy Thane? You do vien bend your noble strength, to think so brain-sickly of things, go get some water, and wash this filthy witness from your hand. Why did you bring these daggers from the place? They must lie there, go carry them and smear the sleep I grooms with blood. Chapter 1000. I'll go no more. Chapter 1. Am afraid to think what I ha done. Chapter 50. On again I dare not. Chapter 50. Die, infirm of purpose. Giu me the daggers, the sleeping and the dead are but as pictures, tease the eye of childhood. That fears a painted duel, if he do bleed. Chapter 49. Gild the faces of the grooms withal, for it must seem their guilt. Enter. Knock within. Chapter 1000. Whence is that knocking? How is't with me, when Ury noise appalls me? What hands are here? Ha, they pluck out mine eyes. Will all great Neptune's ocean wash this blood? Chapter 150. E'en from my hand. No, this my hand will rather. The multitudinous seas incarnadine. Chapter 1000. making the green one red. Enter Lady. Chapter 50. Adai, my hands are of your color, but I shame to wear a heart so white. Knock. Chapter 1. Hear a knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber. A little water clears verses of this deed. How easy is it then, your constancy hath left you vain attended. Knock. Hark more knocking. Get on your nightgown, least occasion call V's. And show verses to be watchers, be not lost so poorly in your thoughts. Chapter 1000. Acp, to know my deed. Knock. Tweer best not know myself. Wake Duncan with thy knocking. Chapter 1. Would thou couldst see. Exeunt. Shana Tersha. Enter a porter, knocking within. Porter, here's a knocking indeed, if a man were. Porter of Hell Gate, he should ha old turning the key. Knock. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there i'th name of Beelzebub? Here's a farmer that hanged himself on expectation of plenty. Come in time, ha napkins eno about you, here you less sweat fort. Knock. Knock, knock. Who's there in other duel's name? Faith here's an equivocator that could swear in both the scales against either scale, who committed treason enough for God's sake, yet could not equivocate to Hohen. Oh, come in, equivocator. Knock. Knock, 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 who's there? Faith here's an English tailor come hither, for stealing out of a French hose. Chapter 100. Ohm and tailor, here you may roast your goose. Knock. Knock, knock, newer at quiet, what are you? But this place is too cold for hell. I'll duel porter it no further. I had thought to let in some of all professions that go the primrose way to your lasting bonfire. Knock. Anon, anon, I pray you remember the porter. Enter Macduff and Lennox. Chapter 1000. Act. Was it so late, friend, ere you went to bed, that you do lie so late? Port. Faith, sir, we were carousing till the second cock. And drink, sir, is a great provoker of three things. Chapter 1000. Act. What three things does drink especially provoke? Port. Marry, sir, nose painting, sleep, and vrine. Lechery, sir, it provokes and vien provokes. It provokes the desire, but it takes away the performance. Therefore much drink may be said to be an equivocator with lechery. It makes him and it mars him. It sets him on and it takes him off. It persuades him and disheartens him. Makes him stand to and not stand to. In conclusion, equivocates him in a sleep, and geoing him the lie lows him. Chapter 1000. Act. I believe you drink gaw thee the lie last night. Port. That it did, sir, i'th very throat on me. But I requited him for his lie, and I think being too strong for him, though he took VP my legs sometime, yet I made a shift to cast him. Enter Macbeth. Chapter 1000. Act. Is thy master stirring? Our knocking ha is a-whacked him. Here he comes. Chapter 50. Enox. Good morrow, noble sir. Chapter 1000. Acp. Good morrow both. Chapter 1000. Act. Is the king stirring, worthy thane? Chapter 1000. Acp. Not yet. Chapter 1000. Act. He did command me to call timely on him. Chapter 1. Ha almost slipped the hour. Chapter 1000. Acp. I'll bring you to him. Chapter 1000. Act. I know this is a full trouble to you, but yet 'tis one. Chapter 1000. Acp. The labor we delight in physics pain. This is the door. Chapter 1000. Act. I'll make so bold to call, for 'tis my limited. Cerowis. Exit Macduff. Chapter 50. Enox. Goes the king hence today. Chapter 1000. Acp. He did appoint so. Chapter 50. Enox. The night has been unruly. Where we lay, our chimneys were blown down. And as they say, lamentings heard i'th air. Strange shreams of death. And prophesying, with accents terrible, of dire combustion and confuzzed uents. New hatch toth waffle time. The obscure bird clamored the lialong night. Some say the earth was furious and did shake. Chapter 1000, Acp, 'twas a rough night. Chapter 50, Enoch's, my young remembrance cannot parallel. A fellow to it. Enter Macduff. Chapter 1000, Act, O horror, horror, horror. Tongue nor heart cannot conceive you, nor name thee. Chapter 1000, Acp in Lennox, what's the matter? Chapter 1000, Act, confusion now hath made his masterpiece. Chapter 1000, Ost sacrilegious murder hath broke ope. The Lord's anointed temple, and stole thence. The life oath building. Chapter 1000, Acp, what is't you say the life? Chapter 50, Enoch's, mean you his majesty. Chapter 1000, Act, approach the chamber and destroy your sight. With a new gorgon, do not bid me speak. See and then speak your sallows. Awake, awake. Exeunt, Macbeth and Lennox. Ring the alarum bell, murder and treason. Banquo and Donalbain, Malcolmy awake. Shake off this downy sleep, death's counterfeit. And look on death itself, VP, VP and C. The great doom's image, Malcolmy Banquo. As from your graws rise VP, and walk like sprites. To countenance this horror, ring the bell. Bell rings, enter lady. Chapter 50, Adai, what's the business? That such a hideous trumpet calls to parley. The sleepers of the house, speak, speak. Chapter 1000, Act, O gentle lady. 'Tis not for you to hear what I can speak. The repetition in a woman's ear would murder as it fell. Enter Banquo. O Banquo, Banquo, our royal master's murdered. Chapter 50, Adai, woe alas. What in our house? Ban, too cruel anywhere. Chapter 500, Ear duff, I prithee contradict thyself. And say, it is not so. Enter Macbeth, Lennox and Ross. Chapter 1000, Acp, had I but died an hour before this chance. Chapter 1, had Leod a blessed time, for from this instant, there's nothing serious in mortality. All is but toys, renown and grace is dead. The wine of life is drawn, and the mere lees. Chapter 1, S left this vault to brag of. Enter Malcolmy and Donalbain. Chapter 500, Onal, what is amiss? Chapter 1000, Acp, you are and do not note. The spring, the head, the fountain of your blood. Chapter 1, S stopped, the very source of it is stopped. Chapter 1000, Act, your royal father's murdered. Chapter 1000, Al, oh by whom? Chapter 50, Enoch's, those of his chamber as it seemed had don't. Their hands and faces were all badged with blood. So were their daggers which Vienne whipped, we found. Chapter 5, upon their pillows they starred and were distracted. No man's life was to be trusted with them. Chapter 1000, Acp, oh, yet I do repent me of my fury, that I did kill them. Chapter 1000, Act, wherefore did you so? Chapter 1000, Acp, who can be wise, amazed, temperate, and furious? Chapter 50, oil and neutral in a moment, no man. Th, expedition of my violent low. Outrun the pauser, reason, here lay Duncan. His silver skin, lacked with his golden blood. And his gashed stabs, looked like a breach in nature. For ruin's wastful entrance, they're the murderers. Steeped in the colors of their trade, their daggers. Chapter 5, En mannerly breached with gore, who could refrain? That had a heart to low, and in that heart. Chapter 100, Orridge to make slough known. Chapter 50, Adai, help me hence Hoa. Chapter 1000, Act, look to the lady. Chapter 1000, Al, why do we hold our tongues? That most may claim this argument for hours. Chapter 500, Onal, what should be spoken here? where our fate hid in an augur hole. Chapter 1000, I rush and seize versus, let's away. Our tears are not yet brewed. Chapter 1000, Al, nor our strong sorrow. Chapter 5, Pawn the foot of motion. Bank, look to the lady. And when we haw our naked frailties hid, that suffer an exposure, let these meet, and question this most bloody piece of work. To know it further, fears and scruples shake versus. Chapter 1, in the great hand of God I stand, and thence, against the undivulged pretense, I fight, of treasonous malice. Chapter 1000, Act, and so do I. All, so all. Chapter 1000, Act, let's briefly put on manly readiness, and meet I hall together. All, well contented. Exeunt. Chapter 1000, Alk, what will you do? Chapter 50, Et's not consort with them. To show in VN felt sorrow is an office, which the false man does easy. Chapter 49, E to England. Chapter 500, on to Ireland I. Our separated fortune shall keep versus both the safer. Where we are, there's daggers in men's smiles. The near in blood, the nearer bloody. Chapter 1000, Elk, this murderous shaft that's shot, hath not yet lighted, and our safest way. Chapter 1, as to aud the I'm, therefore to horse. And let these not be dainty of low taking, but shift away, there's warren in that theft, which steals itself when there's no mercy left. Exeunt. Shana Quarta. Enter Ross, with an old man. Old man, 70 I can remember well, within the volume of which time I ha seen hours dreadful and things strange, but this sore night hath trifled former knowings. Ross, ha, good father, thou seest the Howans, as troubled with man's act, threatens his bloody stage, Byth clocked his day, and yet dark night strangles the triling lamp. Chapter 1, night's predominance or the day's shame. That darkness does the face of earth in Tom, when leewing light should kiss it. Old man, tease via natural. Ewan like the deed that's done, on Tuesday last. A falcon touring in her pride of place was by a mosing owl hawked at and killed. Ross and Duncan's horses, a thing most strange and certain, beauteous and swift, the minions of their race, turned wilder in nature, broke their stalls, flung out. Chapter 100, on tending gainst obedience as they would. Chapter 1000, ache war with mankind. Old man, T said they eat each other. Ross, they did so. To TH, amazement of mine eyes that looked vpont. Enter Macduff. Here comes the good Macduff. How goes the world, sir, now? Chapter 1000, Act, why see you not? Ross, is't known who did this more than bloody deed? Chapter 1000, Act, those that Macbeth hath slain. Ross, alas the day. What good could they pretend? Chapter 1000, Act, they were subburned. Chapter 1000, Alcalmy and Donalbain the king's two sons are stalny away and fled, which puts vpon them suspicion of the deed. Ross, gainst nature still, thriftless ambition, that will raw in VP. Thine own use means, then T's most like. The sour rainty will fall vpon Macbeth. Chapter 1000, Act, he is already nammed and gone to Scone, to be unusted. Ross, where is Duncan's body? Chapter 1000, Act, carried to Calmakill, the sacred storehouse of his predecessors, and guardian of their bones. Ross, will you to Scone? Chapter 1000, Act, no causin I'll to Fife. Ross, well I will thither. Chapter 1000, Act, well may you see things well done there, adieu. Chapter 50, East our old robes sit easier than our new. Ross, Farewell, father. Old God's benison go with you, and with those that would make good of bad, and friends of foes. Exeunt omnes. Actus tertius, scena prima. Enter Banquo. Bank, thou hast it now, King Cawdor glamis all. As the Wayard women promised, and I fear thou playedst most foully for't, yet it was said. Chapter 1. T should not stand in thy posterity, but that myself should be the root and father of many kings, if there come truth from them. As upon the Macbeth, their speeches shine. Why by the verities on thee made good? Chapter 1000. I they not be my oracles as well, and set me VP in hope, but hush, no more. Scene it sounded. Enter Macbeth as king, Lady Lennox, Ross, lords, and attendants. Chapter 1000. Acp, here's our chief guest. Chapter 50. If he had been forgotten. Chapter 1. T had Benny as a gap in our great feast, and all thing vn becoming. Chapter 1000. Acp, tonight we hold a solemny supper, sir, and I'll request your presence. Bank, let your highness. Chapter 100. Amend vpon me, to the which my duties are with a most indissoluble tie. For your knit. Chapter 1000. Acp, ride you this afternoon. Ban, I my good lord. Chapter 1000. Acp, we should ha else desired your good aduous, which still hath been both graw and prosperous. Chapter 1. End this day's counsel, but we'll take tomorrow. Chapter 1. Est far you ride. Ban, as far my lord as will fill VP the time. Twixt this and supper, go not my horse the better. Chapter 1. Must become a borrower of the night, for a dark hour or twain. Chapter 1000. Acp, fail not our feast. Ban, my lord, I will not. Chapter 1000. Acp, we hear our bloody cousins are bestowed. Chapter 1. In England and in Ireland not confessing their cruel parricide, filling their hearers with strange inuntion, but of that tomorrow, when therewithal we shall ha cause of state. Chapter 100. Rawing v's iantly, hie you to horse. Adieu, till you return at night. Goes fleence with you. Ban, I my good lord, our time does call v pawns. Chapter 1000. Acp, I wish your horses swift and sure of foot, and so I do commend you to their backs. Farewell. Exit Banquo. Chapter 50. At Uri man be master of his time, till Suin at night, to make society the sweeter welcome. We will keep ourself till supper time alone. While then, God be with you. Exeunt, lords. Sirrah, a word with you, attend those men. Our pleasure. Saruant, they are my lord without the palace gate. Chapter 1000. Acp, bring them before V's. Exit Saruant. To be thus is nothing but to be safely thus. Our fears in Banquo stick deep, and in his royalty of nature reigns that which would be feared, tease much he dares, and to that dauntless temper of his mind he hath a wisdom that doth guide his valor. To act in safety there is none but he, whose being I do fear, and endure him. Chapter 1000. Why genius is rebucked, as it is said. Chapter 1000. Arch Anthony's was by Caesar, he chid the sisters, when first they put the name of King upon me, and bade them speak to him, then prophet-like. They hailed him father to a line of kings. Chapter 5. Pon my head they placked a fruitless crown, and put a barren scepter in my gripe, thence to be ranked with an lineal hand. No son of mine succeeding, if't be so. For Banquo's issue ha I filled my mind. For them, the gracious Duncan ha I murthered, put rancors in the vessel of my peace. Onely for them, and mine eternal ul. Gewin to the common enemy of man. To make them kings, the seeds of Banquo kings. Rather than so, come fate into the list. And champion me to VT Terence. Who's there? Enter Sarowent and 2 murderers. Now go to the door and stay there till we call. Exit Sarowent. Was it not yesterday we spoke together? Chapter 1000. Earth, it was, so please your highness. Chapter 1000. Acp, well then. Now ha you considered of my speeches. Know that it was he in the times past, which held you so viender fortune, which you thought had been our innocent self. This I made good to you in our last conference, passed in probation with you. How you were borne in hand, how crossed the instruments, who wrought with them, and all things else that might, to half a soul and to a notion crased. Say, thus did Banquo. 1. Mirth, you made it known to V's. Chapter 1000. Acp, I did so, and went further, which is now our point of second meeting. Chapter 500. Oh, you find your patience so predominant. Chapter 1. And your nature that you can let this go. Are you so gospelled to pray for this good man, and for his issue, whose hoey hand hath bowed you to the graw, and beggared yours for you a 1. Mirth, we are men, my lee. Chapter 1000. Acp, I in the catalogue ye go for men, as hounds and greyhounds, mongrels, spaniels, curs, shogs, waterugs, and demiwalus are clipped, all by the name of dogges, the valued file. Chapter 501. Distinguishes the swift, the slow, the subtle, the housekeeper, the hunter, Uri 1. According to the gift, which bounteous nature hath in him claused, whereby he does receive you. Part 99. Uller edition from the bill. That writes them all alike, and so of men. Now, if you ha a station in the file, not I'th worst rank of manhood, sate, and I will put that business in your bosoms, whose execution takes your enemy off, grapples you to the heart, and low of V's, who wear our health but sickly in his life, which in his death were perfect. 2. Mirth, I am one my liege, whom the vile blows and buffets of the world hath so incensed that I am reckless what I do, to spite the worm mirth, and I another, so wary with disasters, tugged with fortune, that I would set my life on any chance, to mend it or be rid on't. Chapter 1000. Acp, both of you know Banquo was your enemy. Chapter 1000. Earth, true, my lord. Chapter 1000. Acp, so is he mine, and in such bloody distance, that Uri minute of his being, thrusts against my nearest of life, and though I could, with barefact power sweep him from my sight, and bid my will auch it, yet I must not. For certain friends that are both his and mine, whose lows I may not drop, but wail his fall, who I myself struck down, and thence it is that I to your assistance do make low. Chapter 1000. Asking the business from the common eye, for sundry weighty reasons. 2. Mirth, we shall, my lord, perform what you command V's. 1. Mirth, though our leus. Chapter 1000. Acp, your spirits shine through you, within this hour at most. Chapter 1. Will aduise you where to plant your cellus, acquaint you with the perfect spyoth time. The moment on't, for it must be done tonight. And something from the palace, always thought, that I require a clearness, and with him, to low no rubs nor botches in the work. Fleens, his son, that keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me then is his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour, resolve your cellus apart. Chapter 49. E come to you anon. Chapter 1000. Earth, we are resolute, my lord. Chapter 1000. Acp, I'll call upon you straight, abide within. Chapter 1. Tea is concluded, Banquo thy soul's flight. Chapter 1. If it find Hohen, must find it out tonight. Exeunt. Scena secunda. Enter Macbeth's lady, and a Sarowent. Chapter 50. Adai, is Banquo gone from court? Sarowent, I madame but returns again tonight. Chapter 50. Adai, say to the king I would attend his leisure. For a few words. Sarowent, madame I will. Enter. Chapter 50. Adai, naught's had all's spent. Where our desire is got without content. 'Tis safer to be that which we destroy, than by destruction dwell in doubtful eye. Enter Macbeth. How now, my lord, why do you keep alone? Of sorriest fancies your companions making. Chapter 5. Sing those thoughts which should indeed ha died. With them they think on, things without all remedy. Should be without regard, what's done is done. Chapter 1000. Acp, we ha scorched the snake, not killed it. She'll close, and be herself, whilst our poor malice remains in danger of her former tooth. But let the frame of things decide. Both the worlds suffer, ere we will eat our meal in fear, and sleep. Chapter 1. End the affliction of these terrible dreams. That shake versus nightly, better be with the dead, whom we, to gain our peace, ha sent to peace, than on the torture of the mind, to lie. Chapter 1. En restless ecstasy. Chapter 500. Cain is in his graw. After life's fitful fewer, he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst, nor steel nor poison. Chapter 1000. Alice domestique, foreign Louis nothing. Chapter 100. And touch him further. Chapter 50. Adai, come on. Gentle my lord, sleek array your rugged looks. Be bright and I-wheel among your guests tonight. Chapter 1000. Acp, so shall I low, and so I pray be you. Chapter 50. At your remembrance apply to Banquo. Present him eminence, both with eye and tongue. Chapter 5. And safe the while that we must look our honors in these flattering streams, and make our faces vizards to our hearts. Chapter 501. Esguising what they are. Chapter 50. Adai, you must loathe this. Chapter 1000. Acp, oh, full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou know'st he, that Banquo and his fleens leuse. Chapter 50. Adai, but in them nature's copies not a turn. Chapter 1000. Acp, there's comfort yet they are assailable. Then be thou Iacund, ere the bat hath flown his cloistered flight, ere to black Hecat's summons. The shard-born beetle, with his drowsy hums, hath rung night's yawning peal. There shall be done a deed of dreadful note. Chapter 50. Adai, what's to be done? Chapter 1000. Acp, be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Comes sealing night. Scarf VP, the tender eye of pitiful day, and with thy bloody and unusable hand. Chapter 100. Ansel and tear to pieces that great bond, which keeps me pale, light thickens, and the crow makes wing toth rooky wood. Good things of day begin a droop, and drowse, whiles night's black agents to their praise do rose. Thou marvelst at my words, but hold thee still. Things bad begun, make strong themselves by ill. So prithee go with me. Exeunt. Scena tertia. Enter three murderers. The west yet glimmers with some streaks of day. Now spurs the lated troiler apace, to gain the timely in knee, and near approaches the subject of our watch. Banquo within, Gu versus a light there hoa. So all men do, from hence toth palace gate. Chapter 1000. Ake it their walk. Enter Banquo and Fleens with a torch. Ban, it will be rain tonight. Ban, oh treachery. Fly, good Fleens, fly, fly, fly. Thou mayst he ruinge, O slaw. Best half of our affair. Exeunt. Scena quarta. Banquet prepared, Enter Macbeth, Lady, Ross, Lennox, lords, and attendants. Chapter 1000. Acp, you know your own degrees, sit down. At first and last, the hearty welcome. Chapter 50. Ords, thanks to your majesty. Chapter 1000. Acp, ourself will mingle with society and play the humble host. Our hostess keeps her state, but in best time we will require her welcome. Chapter 50. Pronounce it for me, sir, to all our friends. For my heart speaks, they are welcome. Enter first murderer. Chapter 1000. Acp, see they encounter thee with their heart's thanks. Both sides are ewen, here I'll sit midst. Be large in mirth, anon we'll drink a measure. The table round, there's blood vpon thy face. Chapter 1000. Tease banquos then. Chapter 1000. Acp, tease better thee without than he within. Chapter 1. As he dispatched. Chapter 1000. My lord his throat is cut that I did for him. Chapter 1000. AC, thou art the best oath cut throats. Yet he's good that did the like for fleens. Chapter 1. If thou didst it, thou art the non-peril. Chapter 1000. Most royal sir. Fleens is scapt. Chapter 1000. Acp, then comes my fit again. Chapter 1. Had else been perfect. Whole as the marble, founded as the rock. As broad and general as the casing air. But now I am cabined, cribbed, confined, bound in. To saucy doubts and fears, but Banquo's safe. Chapter 1000. I my good lord, safe in a ditch he bides. With 20 trenched gashes on his head. The least a death to nature. Chapter 1000. Acp, thanks for that. There the grown serpent lies, the worm that's fled. Hath nature that in time will venom breed. No teeth for th present, get thee gone tomorrow. We'll hear our cellus again. Exit murderer. Chapter 50. Adie, my royal lord. You do not jew the cheer, the feast is sold. That is not often vouched, while 'tis a making. Tease genuine with welcome, to feed we're best at home. From thence, the sauce to meat is ceremony. Chapter 1000. Eating were bare without it. Enter the ghost of Banquo, and sits in Macbeth's place. Chapter 1000. Acp, sweet remembrancer. Now good digestion wait on appetite, and health on both. Chapter 50. Enochs, may it please your highness sit. Chapter 1000. Acp, here had we now our country's honor roofed. With a gracked person of our Banquo present. Who, may I rather challenge for vieng kindness, then pity for mischance. Ross, his absence, sir. Chapter 50. I's blame vpon his promise, pleased your highness. To grace v's with your royal company. Chapter 1000. Acp, the table's full. Chapter 50. Enochs, here is a place reserved, sir. Chapter 1000. Acp, where? Chapter 50. Enochs, here my good lord. What is't that moves your highness? Chapter 1000. Acp, which of you ha done this? Chapter 50. Ords, what my good lord? Chapter 1000. Acp, thou canst not say I did it, newer shake. Thy gory locks at me. Ross, gentlemen rise, his highness is not well. Chapter 50. Adie, sit worthy friends, my lord is often thus. And hath been from his youth, pray you keep seat. The fit is momentary, vpon a thought. He will again be well, if much you note him. You shall offend him, and extend his passion. Feed and regard him not, are you a man? Chapter 1000. Acp, I in a bold one that dare look on that, which might appall the deal. Chapter 50. A.O. proper stuff. This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said. Chapter 50. Ed you to Duncan, oh these flaws and starts. Impostors to true fear would well become. A woman's story at a winter's fire. authorized by her grandam, shame itself. Why do you make such faces, when all's done? You look but on a stool. Chapter 1000, Ac, prithee see there. Behold, look low, how say you? Why, what care I if thou canst nod, speak too? Chapter 1, F. charnel houses and our graws must send. Those that we bury baccy, our monuments, shall be the maws of kites. Chapter 50, A what, quite vien manned in folly. Chapter 1000, Ac, if I stand here I saw him. Chapter 50, A fie for shame. Chapter 1000, Ac, blood hath been shed ere now, ith olden time. Ere humane statute, purged the gentle wheel. Chapter 1, and since 2 murthers ha been performed. Too terrible for the ear, the times has been. That when the brains were out, the man would die. And there an end, but now they rise agging. With 20 mortal murthers on their crowns. And push these from our stools, this is more strain than such a murther is. Chapter 50, A my worthy lord. Your noble friends do lackey you. Chapter 1000, Ac, I do forget. Chapter 500, O not muse at me my most worthy friends. Chapter 1, Ha strange infirmity which is nothing. To those that know me, come, low and health to all. Then I'll sit down, gie me some wine fill full. Enter ghost. Chapter 1, Drink to Th. General I of whole table. And to our dear friend Banquo, whom we miss. Would he were here, to all and him we thirst. And all to all. Chapter 50, Ords, our duties and the pledge. Chapter 1000, AC, Oint and quit my sight, let the earth hide thee. Thy bones are marrowless, thy blood is cold. Thou hast no speculation in those eyes, which thou dost glare with. Chapter 50, A think of this good peers. But as a thing of custom, tease no other. Onely it spoils the pleasure of the time. Chapter 1000, Ac, what man dare I dare? Approach thou like the rugged Russian bear, the armed rhinoceros, or Th. Hirkin tiger. Take any shape but that, and my firm narrows shall newer tremble, or be aliu agging, and dare me to the dessart with thy sword. Chapter 1, F trembling I inhabit then, protest me. The baby of a girl, hence horrible shadow. Chapter 5, Enreal mockery hence, why so being gone. Chapter 1, Am a man agging, pray you sit still. Chapter 50, A you hottest black the mirth. Broke the good meeting, with most admired disorder. Chapter 1000, Ac, can such things be? And our come v's like a summer's cloud. Without our special wonder, you make me strain. Ewan to the disposition that I owe. When now I think you can behold such sights, and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks. When mine is blanched with fear. Ross, what sights, my lord? Chapter 50, A I pray you speak not, he grows worse and worse. Question enrages him, at once good night. Stand not vipon the order of your going, but go at once. Chapter 50, N, good night and better health. Attend his majesty. Chapter 50, A kind good night to all. Exit lords. Chapter 1000, Ac, it will ha blood they say. Blood will ha blood. Stones ha been known to moo, and trees to speak. Augurs and viendersted relations, ha. By maggot pies and chuffs, and rooks brought forth. The secret steam man of blood, what is the night? Chapter 50, A almost at odds with morning, which is which. Chapter 1000, Ac, how say'st thou that Macduff denies his person? At our great bidding. Chapter 50, A did you send to him, sir? Chapter 1000, Ac, I hear it by the way, but I will send. There's not a one of them, but in his house. Chapter 1, Keep a Sarwent feed, I will tomorrow. And betimes I will, to the Wayard sisters. Chapter 1000, or shall they speak, for now I am bent to know. By the worst means the worst, for mine own good. All causes shall you weigh, I'm in blood. Stepped in so far, that should I wade no more. Returning were as tedious as go o'er. Strange things I haw in head, that will to hand, which must be acted, ere they may be scanned. Chapter 50. You lackey the season of all natures, sleep. Chapter 1000. Acp, come wheel to sleep, my strange and self-abuse. Chapter 1. The initiate fear that wants hard VSC. We are yet but young indeed. Exeunt. Shana Quinta. Thunder, enter the three witches, meeting Hecate. Heck, how I not reason beldams, as you are. Saucy and hour bold, how did you dare to trade and traffic with Macbeth? Chapter 1. Riddles and affairs of death. And I the mistress of your charms, the close contrarier of all harms, was newer called to bear my part, or show the glory of our art. And which is worse, all you ha done hath been but for a wayward son, spiteful and wrathful, who, as others do. Chapter 50. Ours for his own ends, not for you. But make amends now, get you gone. And at the pit of Acheron. Chapter 1000. Eat me ath morning, thither he will come, to know his destiny. Your vessels, and your spells prue-eyed, your charms, and everything beside. Chapter 1. For air, this night I'll spend. Chapter 5. A dismal and a fatal end. Great business must be wrought ere no one. Chapter 5. Pon the corner of the moon there hangs a vaporous drop, profound. Chapter 49. Catch it ere it come to ground, and that distilled by magic sleights shall raise such artificial sprites as by the strength of their illusion shall draw him on to his confusion. He shall spurn fate, scorn death, and bear his hopes bow wisdom, grace, and fear. And you all know security. Chapter 1. Mortal's chiefest enemy. Chapter 1000. Music and a song. Hark, I am called, my little spirit see, sits in foggy cloud, and stays for me. Sing within, come away, and come, let's make haste, she'll soon be backy again. Exeunt. Scena sexta. Enter Lennox and another lord. Chapter 50. Enoch's, my former speeches. Ha, but hit your thoughts, which can interpret farther, onely I say. Things ha been strangely born, the gracious Duncan was pitted of Macbeth, merry he was dead. And the right valiant Banquo walked too late, whom you may say, if't please you, fleens killed. For fleens fled, men must not walk too late, who cannot want the thought, how monstrous. Chapter 1. T was for Malcolmy and for Donalbain to kill their gracious father, damned fact. How it did gree you, Macbeth, did he not straight? Chapter 1. Pious rage, the two delinquents tear. That were the slaws of drink, and thralls of sleep. Was not that nobly done, aye, and wisely too? For 'twould ha angered any heart aliu to hear the men done it, so that I say, he has borne all things well, and I do think that had he Duncan's sons, viender his key. As an't please Hoen he shall not, they should find. What 'twere to kill a father, so should fleens. But peace, for from broad words and cause his presence at the tyrant's feast, I hear. Chapter 1000. Doth Leus in disgrace, sir, can you tell where he bestows himself? Chapter 50. Ord, the sons of Duncan, from whom this tyrant holds the due of birth. Chapter 51. Use in the English court and is resigned of the most pious Edward, with such grace that the malolence of fortune, nothing takes from his high respect, thither Macduff. Chapter 1. Gone to pray the holy king, vipon his eyed, to wake Northumberland, and warlike Sayward, that by the help of these, with him abow, to ratify the work, we may again. Giu to our tables meet, sleep to our nights. free from our feasts, and banquets bloody news. Chapter 500. O faithful homage, and receive you free honors. All which we pine for now, and this report hath so exasperate their king, that he prepares for some attempt of war. Chapter 50. Sent he to Macduff. Chapter 50. Ord, he did, and with an absolute sir, not I. The cloudy messenger turns me his baccy, and hums, as who should say, you'll rue the time. That clogges me with this answer. Chapter 50. Enoch's, and that well might. Aduoys him to a caution, hold what distance. His wisdom can provide, some holy angel. Fly to the court of England, and enfold his message ere he come, that a swift blessing. Chapter 1000. I soon return to this our suffering country. Chapter 5. Ender a hand accursed. Chapter 50. Ord, I'll send my prayers with him. Exeunt. Actus quartus, scena prima. Thunder, enter the three witches. One thrice the brinded cat hath mew thrice, and once the hedgepig win harpier cries, Tea's time, tea's time. One round about the cauldron go. Chapter 1. And the poisoned entrails throw. Toad, that viender cold stone. Chapter 500. Eyes and nights, Hawes 31. Swelted venom sleeping got. Boil thou first ith charmed pot. All, double twile in trouble. Fire burn, and cauldron bubble. Two fillet of a fenny snake. Chapter 1. And the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of newt, and toe of frog. Wool of bat, and tongue of dog. Adder's fork, and blindworm's sting. Chapter 51. Zard's leg, and howlet's wing. For a charm of powerful trouble. Chapter 51. Kia hell broth, boil and bubble. All, double toil and trouble. Fire burn, and cauldron bubble. Three scale of dragon, tooth of wolf. Witch's mummy, maw and gulf. Of the rawined salt sea shark. Root of hemlock, dig dice dark. Chapter 51. Ewer of blaspheming yew. Gall of goat, and slips of yew. Sleeward in the moon's eclipse. Nose of Turk, and Tartar's lips. Finger of birth-strangled babe. Chapter 501. Tch to leeward by a drab. Chapter 1000. Ake the gruel thick and slab. Add thereto a tiger's chaudron. For ingredients of our caudron. All, double toil and trouble. Fire burn, and cauldron bubble. To cool it with a baboon's blood, then the charm is firm and good. Enter Hecate and the other three witches. Heck, oh well done, I commend your pains. And Uri, one shall share ith gains. And now about the cauldron sing. Chapter 51. Kia loos and fairies in a ring. Chapter 1. Enchanting all that you put in. Chapter 1000. Music and a song, blacky spirits, and by the pricking of my thumbs. Something wicked this way comes. Open locks who your knocks. Enter Macbeth. Chapter 1000. Acp, how now you secret, black and midnight hags. What is't you do? All, a deed without a name. Chapter 1000. Acp, I conneer you by that which you profess. Howe'er you come to know it, answer me. Though you untie the winds, and let them fight against the churches, though the yesty was. Chapter 100. Onfound and swallow noigation VP. Though bladed corn be lodged, and trees blown down. Though castles topple on their warders' heads. Though palaces and pyramids do slope their heads to their foundations, though the treasure of nature's germane tumble altogether. You until destruction sicken, answer me. To what I ask you. 1. Speak. 2. Demand we'll answer. 1. Say, if hadst rather hear it from our mouths, or from our masters. Chapter 1000. Acp, column, let me see power in sow's blood that hath eaten. Her 9 Pharaoh, grease that sweatin. From the murderer's gibbet, throw. Chapter 1, Antio the flame. All, come high or low. Thyself in office deftly show. Thunder, one apparition an armed head. Chapter 1000, Acp, tell me thou vien known power. When he knows thy thought, hear his speech but say thou not. One appar, Macbeth, 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 beware Macduff, beware the Thane of Fife, dismiss me, enough. He descends. Chapter 1000, Acp, whate'er thou art for thy good caution, thanks. Thou hast harped my fear aright, but one word more. One he will not be commanded, here's another. Chapter 1000, or potent than the first. Thunder, two apparition a bloody child. Two appar, Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth. Chapter 1000, Acp, had I 3 ears ill'd hear thee. Appar, be bloody, bold, and resolute. Chapter 50, awe to scorn. The power of man, for none of woman born, shall harm Macbeth. Chapter 500, Essence. Chapter 1000, AC, then Liu Macduff, what need I fear of thee? But yet I'll make assurance, double sure, and take a bond of fate, thou shalt not Liu, that I may tell pale-hearted fear, it lies, and sleep in spite of thunder. Thunder 3 apparition, a child crowned with a tree in his hand. What is this, that rises like the issue of a king? And wears Vipon his baby brow, the round, and top of sour rainty. All, listen but speak not toot. 3 appar, be lion mettled, proud, and take no care. Who chafes, who frets, or where conspirers are. Chapter 1000, Macbeth shall newer vanquished be, eventual. Great Bionam wood, to high Dunstmain hill, shall come against him. Chapter 500, Essend. Chapter 1000, Acp, that will newer be. Who can impress the forest, bid the tree. Chapter 5, Fix his earth-bound root, sweet bodements good. Rebellious dead, rise newer till the wood of Bionan rise, and our high-placked Macbeth shall Liu the lease of nature, pay his breath to time and mortal custom, yet my heart throbs to know one thing, tell me if your art. Chapter 100, and tells so much, shall Banquo's issue ewer. Reign in this kingdom. All, seek to know no more. Chapter 1000, Acp, I will be satisfied, deny me this. And an eternal curse fall on you, let me know. Why sinks that cauldron, and what noise is this? Ha boys. 1 show. 2 show. 3 show. All, show his eyes and griew his heart. Chapter 100, like shadows so depart. A show of 8 kings, and Banquo last, with a glass in his hand. Chapter 1000, Acp, thou art too like the spirit of Banquo, down. Thy crown do sear mine eyeballs, and thy hair, thou other gold-bound brow, is like the first. A third is like the former, filthy hag is. Why do you show me this? A fourth, starred eyes. What will the lines stretch out toth, cracky of doom? Another yet, a sewenth, I'll see no more. And yet the 8th appears, who bears a glass, which shows me many more, and some I see, that twofold balls and treble scepters carry. Horrible sight, now I see 'tis true. For the blood-boltered Banquo smiles vipon me, and points at them for his. What, is this so? When I, sir, all this is so, but why? Stands Macbeth thus amazedly. Chapter 100, sisters, cheer we VP his sprites, and show the best of our delights. Chapter 49, each arm the air to give you a sound, while you perform your antique round, that this great king may kindly say, our duties did his welcome pay. Chapter 1000, Music, the witches dance and vanish. Chapter 1000, Acp, where are they gone? Chapter 50, at this pernicious hour, stand I accursed in the calendar. Chapter 100, Omen without there. Enter Lennox. Chapter 50, Enoch's, What's Your Grace's Will? Chapter 1000, Acp, Saw You the Wayard Sisters. Chapter 50, Enoch's, No My Lord. Chapter 1000, Acp, Came They Not By You? Chapter 50, Enoch's, No Indeed My Lord. Chapter 1000, Acp, Infected be the air whereon they ride. And damned all those that trust them, I did hear the galloping of horse, who wast came by. Chapter 50, N, Tease 2 or 3 my lord that bring you word. Chapter 1000, Macduff is fled to England. Chapter 1000, Acp, Fled to England. Chapter 50, N, I my good lord. Chapter 1000, Acp, Time thou anticipats my dread exploits. The flighty purpose newer is a retook. Chapter 5, Unless the deed go with it, from this moment. The very firstlings of my heart shall be the firstlings of my hand, and you and now. To crown my thoughts with acts, be it thought and done. The castle of Macduff I will surprise. Seize Vipon fife, Judah th Edoth sword. His wife, his babes, and all the unfortunate souls. That trace him in his line, no boasting like a fool. This deed I'll do, before this purpose cool. But no more sights, where are these gentlemen? Chapter 100, Om bring me where they are. Exeunt. Shana Secunda. Enter Macduff's wife, her son and Ross. Wife, what had he done to make him fly the land? Ross, you must ha patience, madam. Wife, he had none. His flight was madness, when our actions do not. Our fears do make versus traitors. Ross, you know not whether it was his wisdom or his fear. Wife, wisdom, to low his wife, to low his babes. His mansion and his titles in a place from whence himself does fly, he lows versus not. He wants the natural touch, for the poor wren. The most diminutive of birds will fight her young ones in her nest, against the owl. All is the fear, and nothing is the low. As little is the wisdom, where the flight so runs against all reason. Ross, my dearest coos. Chapter 1, Pray you school yourself, but for your husband. He is noble, wise, judicious, and best knows the fit's oath season. I dare not speak much further. But cruel are the times, when we are traitors, and do not know our cellus, when we hold rumor from what we fear, yet know not what we fear, but float vipon a wilder and violent sea. Each way and moo, I take my low of you. Shall not be long, but I'll be here again. Things at the worst will cease, or else climb VP ward to what they were before, my pretty cosign. Blessing vipon you. Wife, fathered he is, and yet he's fatherless. Ross, I am so much a fool should I stay longer. Chapter 1, Tea would be my disgrace and your discomfort. Chapter 1, Take my low at once. Exit Ross. Wife, sirrah, your father's dead. And what will you do now? How will you lay you? Son, as birds do mother. Wife, what with worms and flies? Son, with what I get I mean, and so do they. Wife, poor bird. Thou'dst nor fear the net, nor lime, the pitfall, nor the gin. Son, why should I mother? Poor birds they are not set for. Chapter 1000, Why father is not dead for all your saying. Wife, yes, he is dead. How wilt thou do for a father? Son, nay, how will you do for a husband? Wife, why I can buy me 20 at any market. Son, then you'll buy him to sell again. Wife, thou speak'st with all thy wit, and yet I've faith with wit enough for thee. Son, was my father a traitor, mother? Wife, I that he was. Son, what is a traitor? Wife, why one that swears and lies. Son, and be all traitors that do so. Wife, Uri one that do so is a traitor, and must be hanged. Son, and must they all be hanged, that swear and lie? Wife, Uri 1. Son, who must hang them? Wife, why the honest men? Son, then the liars and swearers are fools, for there are liars and swearers eno, to beat the honest men and hang VP them. Wife, now God help thee, poor monkey, but how wilt thou do for a father? Son, if he were dead, yowl'd weep for him. If you would not, it were a good scene that I should quickly haw a new father. Wife, poor prattler, how thou talk'st. Enter a messenger. Chapter 1000. Ease, bless you, fair dame, I am not to you known. Though in your state of honor, I am perfect. Chapter 1. Doubt some danger does approach you nearly. Chapter 1. If you will take a homely man's aduous. Be not found here, hence with your little ones. To fright you thus, methinks I am too sage. To do worse to you, were fell cruelty. Which is too nigh your person, hoen prosero you. Chapter 1. Dare abide no longer. Exit messenger. Wife, whither should I fly? Chapter 1. Ha done no harm, but I remember now. Chapter 1. Am in this earthly world, where to do harm. Chapter 1. S often laudable to do good sometime. Accounted dangerous folly, why then alas. Chapter 500. Oh, I put VP that womanly defense. To say I ha done no harm. What are these faces? Enter murderers. Chapter 1000. Where's your husband? Wife, I hope in no place so vien sanctified. Where such as thou mayst he find him. Chapter 1000. He's a traitor. Son, thou liest thou shag-eared villain. Chapter 1000. What you egg? Young fry of treachery. Son, he has killed me mother. Run away, I pray you. Exit crying murder. Skina Tersha. Enter Malcolmy and Macduff. Chapter 1000. Let these seek out some desolate shade and there weep our sad bosoms empty. Chapter 1000. Let these rather hold fast the mortal sword, and like good men bestride our downfall birthdome, each new morn. New widows howl, new orphans cry, new sorrows. Strike Hoen on the face, that it resounds, as if it felt with Scotland, and yelled out. Chapter 51. Key syllable of dollar. Chapter 1000. What I believe you, I'll wail. What no believe you, and what I can redress. As I shall find the time to friend, I will. What you ha spoke, it may be so perchance. This tyrant, whose sole name blisters our tongues, was once thought honest, you ha lewd him well. He hath not touched you yet, I am young but something. You may discern of him through me, and Wystome. To offer VP a week, poor innocent lamp. Appease an angry god. Chapter 1000. I am not treacherous. Chapter 1000. But Macbeth is. A good and virtuous nature may recoil. Chapter 1. An imperial charge, but I shall craw your pardon. That which you are, my thoughts cannot transpose. Angels are bright still, though the brightest fell. Though all things foul, would wear the brows of grace. Yet grace must still look so. Chapter 1000. I ha lost my hopes. Chapter 1000. Perchance you in there. Where I did find my doubts. Why in that rawness left you wife and child? Those precious modius, those strong knots of low. Without low-taking, I pray you. Chapter 50. Let not my Ulysses be your dishonors, but mine own safeties, you may be rightly asked. What I shall think. Chapter 1000. Bleed, bleed, poor country. Great tyranny, lay thou thy bases sure. For goodness dare not check thee, why thy wrongs. The title is, Fare thee well, Lord. Chapter 1. Would not be the villain that thou think'st. For the whole space that's in the tyrant's grasp, and the rich east to boot. Chapter 1000. Be not offended. Chapter 1. Speak not as in absolute fear of you. Chapter 1. Think our country sinks beneath the yoke. Chapter 1. Tea weeps it bleeds and each new day a gash. Chapter 1. S added to her wounds, I think withal. There would be hands lifted in my right. And here from gracious England ha I offer. Of goodly thousands, but for all this, when I shall tread upon the tyrant's head, or wear it on my sword, yet my poor country shall ha more vices than it had before. Chapter 1000. Or suffer and more sundry ways than you were, by him that shall succeed. Chapter 1000. Act, what should he be? Chapter 1000. It is myself I mean, in whom I know all the particulars of vice so grafted, that when they shall be opened, Lady Macbeth will seem as pure as snow, and the poor state esteem him as a lamb, being compared with my confineless harms. Chapter 1000. Act, not in the legions of horrid hell, can come a deal more damned. Chapter 1. Ewells to top Macbeth. Chapter 1000. I grant him bloody. Chapter 50. Uxurious, avaricious, false, deceitful, sodden, malicious, smacking of Uri sin. That has a name, but there's no bottom none. Chapter 1. And my voluptuousness, your weus, your daughters, your matrons, and your maids, could not fill the cistern of my lust, and my desire all continent impediments would o'erbear. That did oppose my will, better Macbeth than such an one to reign. Chapter 1000. Act, boundless intemperance. Chapter 1. And nature is a tyranny, it hath been. The untimely emptying of the happy throne, and fall of many kings, but fear not yet. To take upon you what is yours, you may. Chapter 100. Ennui your pleasures in a spacious plenty, and yet seem cold, the time you may so hoodwink. We ha willing dames enough, there cannot be that vulture in you, to dure so many, as will to greatness dedicate themselves, finding it so inclined. Chapter 1000. With this there grows. Chapter 1. And my most ill-composed affection, such a stanchless auris, that were I king. Chapter 1. Should cut off the nobles for their lands. Chapter 500. Esser his Ewells and this other's house. And my moorhoing would be as a sauce, to make me hunger more, that I should for quarrels veniest against the good and loyal. Chapter 500. Estering them for wealth. Chapter 1000. Act, this auris sticks deeper, grows with more pernicious root than summer seeming lust, and it hath been the sword of our slain kings, yet do not fear. Scotland hath foisons, to fill your will. Of your mere own, all these are portable, with other graces weighed. Chapter 1000. But I ha none, the king becoming graces, as justice, verity, temperance, stableness, bounty, perseverance, mercy, lowliness. Chapter 500. Ocean, patience, courage, fortitude. Chapter 1. Ha no relish of them but abound. Chapter 1. And the division of each all crime. Act 1. And it many ways, nay, had I power I should pour the sweet milk of Concord into hell. Chapter 5. Pour the Venus all peace confound all vanity on earth. Chapter 1000. Act, O Scotland, Scotland. Chapter 1000. If such a one be fit to govern, speak. Chapter 1. Am as I ha spoken. Chapter 1000. AC. Fit to govern, no not to liu, O natio miserable. Within the untitled tyrant, bloody sceptred. When shalt thou see thy wholesome days agin? Since that the truest issue of thy throne by his own interdiction stands accust, and does blaspheme his breed, thy royal father was a most sainted king, the queen that bore thee oftener upon her knees than on her feet. Chapter 500. Yet a Uri day she lewd, fare thee well. These Ewells thou repeat'st upon thyself, hath banished me from Scotland, O my breast. Thy hope ends here. Chapter 1000. Al, Macduff, this noble passion. Chapter 100. Hilda of integrity hath from my soul whipped the blacky scruples, reconciled my thoughts. To thy good truth and honor, dealish Macbeth, by many of these trains, hath sought to win me. Chapter 1. Intio his power, and modest wisdom plucks me from our credulous hast, but God avow. Chapter 500. Ill between thee and me, for you and now. Chapter 1. Put myself to thy direction and. Chapter 5. And speak mine own detraction, here abier. The taints and blames I laid vipon myself. For strangers to my nature, I am yet. Chapter 5. And known to woman, newer was forsworn. Scarcely ha coweted what was mine own. At no time broke my faith, would not betray. The duel to his fellow, and delight. No less in truth than life, my first false speaking. Was this vipon myself, what I am truly. Chapter 1. S thine and my poor country's to command. Whither indeed, before they here approach. Old Sayward, with 10,000 warlike men, already at a point, was setting forth. Now wheel together, and the chance of goodness. Be like our warranted quarrel, why are you silent? Chapter 1000. Act, such welcome and vien welcome things at once. 'Tis hard to reconcile. Enter a doctor. Chapter 1000. Al, well more anon, comes the king forth. Chapter 1. Pray you. Chapter 500. Oct, I sir, there are a crew of wretched souls that stay his cure, their malady connuances. The great assay of art, but at his touch. Such sanctity hath Hohengi on his hand. They presently amend. Enter. Chapter 1000. Al, I thank you, doctor. Chapter 1000. Act, what's the disease he means? Chapter 1000. Al, 'tis called the Ewil. A most miraculous work in this good king, which often since my here remain in England. Chapter 1. Ha seen him do, how he solicits Hohen. Himself best knows, but strangely visited people. All Swalney and VL Saris, pitiful to the eye. The mere despair of surgery, he cures. Hanging a golden stamp about their necks. Put on with holy prayers, and 'tis spoken. To the succeeding royalty he lows the healing benediction, with this strange virtue. He hath a hohenly gift of prophecy, and sundry blessings hang about his throne, that speak him full of grace. Enter Ross. Chapter 1000. Act, see who comes here. Chapter 1000. Alk, my countryman, but yet I know him not. Chapter 1000. Act, my ewer gentle cousin, welcome hither. Chapter 1000. Alk, I know him now. Good God betimes remow. The means that makes versus strangers. Ross, Sir Amen. Chapter 1000. Act, stands Scotland where it did. Ross, alas poor country. Almost afraid to know itself, it cannot be called our mother but our gra, we're nothing. But who knows nothing, is once seen to smile. Where sighs, and groans, and shrieks that rent the air are made not marked, where violent sorrow seems a modern ecstasy, the dead man's knell. Chapter 1. They're scarce asked for who, and good men's leus expire before the flowers in their caps. Chapter 500. Ying, or ere they sicken. Chapter 1000. Act, O relation too nice and yet too true. Chapter 1000. Alk, what's the newest grief? Ross, that of an hour's age, doth hiss the speaker. Each minute teems a new one. Chapter 1000. Act, how do's my wife? Ross, why well. Chapter 1000. Act, and all my children. Ross, well too. Chapter 1000. Act, the tyrant has not battered at their peace. Ross, no, they were well at peace when I did low 'em. Chapter 1000. Act, Be not a niggard of your speech, how gost. Ross, when I came hither to transport the tidings, which I ha holy born, there ran a rumour of many worthy fellows that were out, which was to my belief witness the rather, for that I saw the tyrant's power afoot. Now is the time of help. Your eye in Scotland would create soldiers, make our women fight, to doff their dire distresses. Chapter 1000. Alk, beat their comfort. We are coming thither, gracious England hath. Chapter 50. Ent versus good Sayward and 10,000 men. An older and a better soldier none. That Christendom Jews out. Ross, would I could answer this comfort with the like, but I haw words that would be howled out in the desert air, where hearing should not latch them. Chapter 1000. Act, what concern they? The general cause, or is it a fee grief? Chapter 500. You to some single breast. Ross, no mind that's honest, but in it shares some woe, though the main part pertains to you alone. Chapter 1000. Act, if it be mine. Keep it not from me, quickly let me haw it. Ross, let not your ears despise my tongue for ewer, which shall possess them with the hoiest sound that ewer yet they heard. Chapter 1000. Act, I guess at it. Ross, your castle is surprised, your wife and babes sagely slaughtered, to relate the manner. We're on the quarry of these murthered deer, to add the death of you. Chapter 1000. Alk, merciful Hoen. What man, near pull your hat vpon your brows? Giu sorrow words, the grief that does not speak, whispers the o refraught heart, and bids it break. Chapter 1000. Act, my children too. Row, wife, children, Sarowants, all that could be found. Chapter 1000. Act, and I must be from thence, my wife killed too. Ross, I ha said. Chapter 1000. Alk, be comforted. Chapter 50. Et's make versus medicines of our great ruinge, to cure this deadly grief. Chapter 1000. Act, he has no children, all my pretty ones. Chapter 999. You say all, O hellkite, all. What, all my pretty chickens, and their dam? At one fell swoop. Chapter 1000. Alk, dispute it like a man. Chapter 1000. Act, I shall do so, but I must also feel it as a man. Chapter 1. Cannot but remember such things were that were most precious to me, did Hoen look on, and would not take their part, sinful Macduff. They were all strook for thee, not that I am, not for their own demerits, but for mine. Fell slaughter on their souls, Hoen rest them now. Chapter 1000. Al, be this the whetstone of your sword, let grief. Chapter 100. Onward to anger, blunt not the heart, enrage it. Chapter 1000. Act, oh I could play the woman with mine eyes, and braggart with my tongue, but gentle Hoens. Chapter 100. Ut short all intermission, front to front. Bring thou this fiend of Scotland, and myself. Within my sword's length set him, if he scape. Hoen forge you him too. Chapter 1000. Al, this time goes manly. Chapter 100. Go we to the king, our power is ready. Our lackey is nothing but our low, Macbeth. Chapter 1. S ripe for shaking and the powers abow. Put on their instruments, receive you what cheer you may. The night is long, that newer finds the day. Exeunt. Actus quintus, scena prima. Enter a doctor of physic, and a waiting gentlewoman. Chapter 500. Oct. I ha 2 nights watched with you, but can perceive you no truth in your report. When was it she last walked? Gent. Since his majesty went into the field, I ha seen her rise from her bed, throw her nightgown vp pon her, vn lock her closet, take forth paper, fold it, write vpont, read it, afterwards seal it, and again return to bed, yet all this while in a most fast sleep. Chapter 500. Oct. A great perturbation in nature, to recite you at once the benefit of sleep, and do the effects of watching. In this slumbery agitation, besides her walking and other actual performances, what at any time ha you heard her say? Gent. That, sir, which I will not report after her. Chapter 500. Oct. You may to me and tease most meet you should. Gent. Neither to you nor anyone hawing no witness to confirm my speech. Enter lady with a taper. Chapter 50. Oh, you, here she comes. This is her very guise, and vipon my life fast asleep. Observe her, stand close. Chapter 500. Oct. How came she by that light? Gent. Why it stood by her. She has light by her continually. 'Tis her command. Chapter 500. Oct. You see her eyes are open. Gent. I but their sense are shut. Chapter 500. Oct. What is it she does now? Chapter 50. Ook, how she rubs her hands. Gent. It is an accustomed action with her, to seem thus washing her hands. I ha known her continue in this a quarter of an hour. Chapter 50. Add, yet here's a spot. Chapter 500. Oct. Hark, she speaks. I will set down what comes from her, to satisfy my remembrance the more strongly. Chapter 50. A out damned spot, out I say. 1, 2, why then 'tis time to do't, hell is murky. Fie, my lord, fie, a soldier, and what need we fear? Who knows it when none can call our power to accompt? Yet who would ha thought the oldie man to ha had so much blood in him? Chapter 500. Oct, do you mark that? Chapter 50. Add, the Thane of Fife had a wife, where is she now? What will these hands near be clean? No more owe that. Chapter 1000. Why, lord, no more owe that, you mar all with this starting. Chapter 500. Oct, go to, go to. You ha known what you should not. Gent, she has spoke what she should not, I am sure. Of that, Hoen knows what she has known. Chapter 50. Here's the smell of the blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand. Oh, oh, oh. Chapter 500. Oct, what a sigh is there. The heart is sorely charged. Gent, I would not ha such a heart in my bosom, for the dignity of the whole body. Chapter 500. Oct, well, well, well. Gent, pray God it be, sir. Chapter 500. Oct, this disease is beyond my practice, yet I ha known those which ha walked in their sleep, who ha died holily in their beds. Chapter 50. Add, wash your hands, put on your nightgown, look not so pale. I tell you yet Agin Banquo's buried, he cannot come out on's graw. Chapter 500. Oct, you and so. Chapter 50. Adai, to bed, there's knocking at the gate. Chapter 100. Come, give me your hand. What's... Chapter 500. One cannot be viendone. To bed. Exit lady. Chapter 500. Oct, will she go now to bed? Gent, directly. Chapter 500. Oct, foul whisperings are abroad, vien natural deeds. Chapter 500. O breed vien natural troubles, infected minds. To their deaf pillows will discharge their secrets. Chapter 1000. Or needs she the dewine than the physician? God forge you visol, look after her. Remove from her the means of all annoyance. And still keep eyes vpon her, so good night. Chapter 1000. Why mind she has mated, and amazed my sight. Chapter 1. Think but dare not speak. Gent, good night, good doctor. Exeunt. Shana secunda. Chapter 500. Rum and colors. Enter Menteth, Cathans, Angus, Lennox. Soldiers. Chapter 1000. Ent, the English power is near, led on by Malcolm. His Viencley Sayward, and the good Macduff. Ruinges burn in them, for their dear causes. Wood to the bleeding, and the grim alarm. Excite the mortified man. Ang, near Byanan Wood. Shall we well meet them, that way are they coming. Chapter 100. Ath, who knows if Donalbain be with his brother. Chapter 50. N, for certain, sir, he is not, I ha a file. Of all the gentry, there is Sayward's son. And many vien rough youths, that Ewan now. protest their first of manhood. Chapter 1000, Ent, what use the tyrant? Chapter 100, Ath, great Dunsinane he strongly fortifies. Some say he's mad, others that lesser hate him. Chapter 500, Oh, call it valiant fury, but for certain he cannot buckle his distempered cause. Within the belt of rule. Ang, now does he feel his secret murthers sticking on his hands. Now minutely rules VP braid his faith breach. Those he commands, mu only in command. Nothing in Lao, now does he feel his title hang loose about him, like a giant's robe. Chapter 5, Pawn a dwarfish thief. Chapter 1000, Ent, who then shall blame his pestered senses to recoil and start, when all that is within him does condemn. Chapter 1, T self for being there. Chapter 100, Ath, well march we on to Gu obedience, where T's truly owed. Chapter 1000, Eat we the medicine of the sickly wheel, and with him pour we in our country's purge each drop of these. Chapter 50, Enochs, or so much as it needs to do the sour rainy flower and drown the weeds. Chapter 1000, Ache we are march towards Burnin. Exeunt, marching. Skina tertia. Enter Macbeth, doctor and attendants. Chapter 1000, Acp, bring me no more reports, let them fly all, till Bionane would remout Dunsinane. Chapter 1, Cannot taint with fear, what's the boy Malcolmy? Was he not born of woman, the spirits that know all mortal consequences, ha pronounced me thus. Fear not Macbeth, no man that's born of woman shall e'er ha power vipon thee, then fly false thanes, and mingle with the English epicures. The mind I sway by, and the heart I bear, shall newer sag with doubt, nor shake with fear. Enter Sarowent. The deal damn the blackie, thou cream-fact loon. Where got'st thou that goose look? Sir, there is 10,000. Chapter 1000, Acp, geese villain. Sir, soldiers, sir. Chapter 1000, Acp, go prick thy face and our red thy fear. Thou lily leeward boy, what soldiers patch? Chapter 500, Eath of thy soul, those linen cheeks of thine are counselors to fear, what soldiers wayface? Sir, the English force so please you. Chapter 1000, Acp, take thy face hence. Satan, I am sick at heart. When I behold Satan, I say this push will cheer me ewer, or deceit me now. Chapter 1, Ha lewd long enough, my way of life. Chapter 1, S foulny into the sear the yellow leaf, and that which should accompany old age. As honor, Lao obedience, troops of friends. Chapter 1 must not look to ha, but in their steed. Chapter 100, Urzes, not load but deep mouth honor breath, which the poor heart would fain deny, and dare not. Satan. Enter Satan. Say, what's your gracious pleasure? Chapter 1000, Acp, what news more? Say, all is confirmed, my lord, which was reported. Chapter 1000, Acp, I'll fight till from my bones my flesh be hacked. Give me my armor. Sate, tea's not needed yet. Chapter 1000, Acp, I'll put it on. Send out moe horses, scurry the country round. Hang those that talk of fear, give me mine armor. How does your patient, doctor? Chapter 500, Oct, not so sick, my lord, as she is troubled with thick calming fancies that keep her from her rest. Chapter 1000, Acp, cure of that. Chapter 100, and st thou not minister to a mind diseased. Pluck from the memory a rooted sorrow. Raise out the written troubles of the brain, and with some sweet oblivious antidote. Chapter 150, E'en's the stuffed bosom of that perilous stuff, which weighs vipon the heart. Chapter 500, Oct, therein the patient. Chapter 1000, Ust minister to himself. Chapter 1000. Acp, throw physic to the dogs, I'll none of it. Chapter 100. Put mine armor on, giu me my staff. Satan, send out, doctor the thanes fly from me. Chapter 100. Sir dispatch, if thou couldst doctor cast the water of my land, find her disease, and purge it to a sound and pristine health. Chapter 1. Would applaud thee to the very echo. That should applaud again, pulled off I say. What rhubarbs sime, or what purgady you drug, would scour these English hence, here's the why of them. Chapter 500. Oct, I my good lord, your royal preparation. Chapter 1000. Aches v's hear something. Chapter 1000. Acp, bring it after me. Chapter 1. Will not be afraid of death and bane, till burning forest come to Dunsinane. Chapter 500. Oct, were I from Dunsinane away and clear, prophet Agin should hardly draw me here. Exeunt. Shana Quarta. Chapter 500. Rum and colors. Enter Malcolmy, Sayward Macduff. Sayward Son. Chapter 1000. Enteth, Cathans, Angus, and soldiers marching. Chapter 1000. Alk, Cossins, I hope the days are near at hand, that chambers will be safe. Chapter 1000. Ent, we doubt it nothing. Say, what wood is this before versus? Chapter 1000. Ent, the wood of Burnane. Chapter 1000. Alk, let Uri soldier hew him down a bough, and bear it before him, thereby shall we shadow the numbers of our host, and make discowery. Air and report of these. Sold, it shall be done. Sew, we learn no other but the confident tyrant keeps still in Dunsinane, and will endure our setting down before't. Chapter 1000. Alk, tease his main hope, for where there is a duantage to be genuine, both more and less ha geun him the ruled, and none sarrow with him, but constrained things, whose hearts are absent too. Chapter 1000. Act, let our eos censures attend the true uint, and put we on. Chapter 1. Industrious soldiership. Say, the time approaches, that will with due decision make versus know what we shall say we ha, and what we owe. Thoughts speculate you, their vien sure hopes relate, but certain issue, strokes must arbitrate, towards which, adduence the war. Exeunt, marching. Shana Quinta. Enter Macbeth, Satan and soldiers, with drum and colors. Chapter 1000. Acp, hang out our banners on the outward walls. The cry is still they come, our castle's strength. We'll laugh a siege to scorn, here let them lie, till famine and the ague eat them VP. Were they not forked with those that should be ours, we might ha met them dareful, beard to beard, and beat them backward home. What is that noise? A cry within of women. Say, it is the cry of women, my good lord. Chapter 1000. Acp, I ha almost forgot the taste of fears. The time has been, my senses would ha cooled, to hear a night shriek, and my fell of hair would at a dismal treatise rose, and stirra. As life were in't, I ha supped full with horrors. Chapter 501. Reness familiar to my slaughterous thoughts. Chapter 100. Annot once start me, wherefore was that cry? Say, the queen my lord is dead. Chapter 1000. Acp, she should ha died hereafter. There would ha been a time for such a word. Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow. Chapter 100. Reaps in this petty pace from day to day, to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays, ha lighted fools. The way to dusty death, out, brief candle. Chapter 51. Fees but a walking shadow, a poor player, that struts and frets his hour vpon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Enter a messenger. Thou com'st to VSE thy tongue, thy story quickly. Chapter 1000. Ease, gracious my lord. Chapter 1. Should report that which I say I saw, but know not how to do't. Chapter 1000. Acp, well say sir. Chapter 1000. Ease, as I did stand my watch vpon the hill. Chapter 1. Looked toward Byanane and anon me thought. The wood began to moo. Chapter 1000. Acp, liar and slaw. Chapter 1000. Ease, let me endure your wrath if be not so. Within this 3 mile may you see it calming. Chapter 1. Say a mooing growl. Chapter 1000. Acp, if thou speak'st false. Chapter 5. Pon the next tree shall thou hang alleyu, till famine cling thee, if thy speech be sooth. Chapter 1. Care not if thou dost for me as much. Chapter 1. Pull in resolution and begin. To doubt equivocation of the fiend. That lies like truth, fear not till Byanane wood. Chapter 500. O come to Dunsinane and now a wood. Chapter 100. Ohms toward Dunsinane, arm and out. Chapter 1. If this which he ouches does appear, there is nor flying hence, nor tarrying here. Chapter 1. Gin to be a weary of the sun, and wish a state oath world were now end on. Ring the alarum bell, blow wind, come racky. At least we'll die with harness on our backy. Exeunt. Shana Sexta. Chapter 500. Rum and colors. Enter Malcolmy, Sayward, Macduff, and their army with bows. Chapter 1000. Al, now near enough. Your lowy screens throw down, and show like those you are, you worthy Viencli. Show with my cousin your right noble son. Chapter 50. Eat our first battle, worthy Macduff and we shall take pawns, what else remains to do? According to our order. Say, fare you well. Chapter 500. Oh, we but find the tyrant's power tonight. Chapter 50. At these be beaten if we cannot fight. Chapter 1000. Act, make all our trumpets speak, Gu the all-breath. Those clamorous harbingers of blood and death. Exeunt. Alarums continued. Shana Septima. Enter Macbeth. Chapter 1000. Acp, they haw tied me to a stake, I cannot fly. But bear-like I must fight the course. What's he? That was not born of woman, such a one. Am I to fear, or none? Enter young Sayward. Why, say, what is thy name? Chapter 1000. Acp, thou'lt be afraid to hear it. Why, say, no, though thou call'st thyself a hoter name. Then any is in hell. Chapter 1000. Acp, my name's Macbeth. Why, say, the deil himself could not pronounce a title. Chapter 1000. Or hateful to mine ear. Chapter 1000. Acp, no, nor more fearful. Why, say, thou liest a poured tyrant with my sword. Chapter 49. Prow the lie thou speak'st. Fight, and young Sayward slain. Chapter 1000. Acp, thou wast born of woman. But swords I smile at, weapons laugh to scorn. Brandished by man, that's of a woman born. Enter. Alarums, enter Macduff. Chapter 1000. Act, that way the noise is, tyrant show thy face. Chapter 1. If thou be'st slain, and with no stroke of mine. Chapter 1000. Why wife and children's ghosts will haunt me still. Chapter 1. Cannot strike at wretched kerns whose arms are heard to bear their staws, either thou Macbeth, or else my sword with an vien battered edge. Chapter 1. Sheath agin vien deeded, there thou shouldst be. By this great clatter, one of greatest note seems brooded, let me find him fortune. And more I beg not. Exit, alarums. Enter Malcolmy and Sayward. Say, this way my lord, the castle's gently rendered. The tyrant's people, on both sides do fight. The noble thanes do brawly in the war. The day almost itself professes yours. and little is to do. Chapter 1000, Alk, we ha met with foes. That strike beside verses. Say, enter Sir the castle. Exeunt, alarum. Enter Macbeth. Chapter 1000, Acp, why should I play the Roman fool and die? On mine own sword, whiles I see use the gashes. Chapter 500, O better ve pawn them. Enter Macduff. Chapter 1000, Act, turn hellhound turn. Chapter 1000, Acp, of all men else I ha auded thee. But get thee backy, my soul is too much charged with blood of thine already. Chapter 1000, Act, I ha no words. Chapter 1000, why voice is in my sword, thou bloodier villain? Then terms conjure thee out. Fight, alarum. Chapter 1000, Acp, thou loosest labor. As easy mayst thou the entrenchant air. With thy keen sword impress, as make me bleed. Chapter 50, et fall thy blade on vulnerable crests. Chapter 1, bear a charmed life which must not yield to one of woman born. Chapter 1000, Act, despair thy charm, and let the angel whom thou still hast serried tell thee, Macduff was from his mother's womb. Chapter 5, untimely ripped. Chapter 1000, Acp, accursed be that tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowed my better part of man. And be these ogling fiends no more believed, that palter with v's in a double sense, that keep the word of promise to our ear, and break it to our hope, I'll not fight with thee. Chapter 1000, Act, then yield thee coward, and leave you to be the show, and gaze oath time. We'll haw thee, as our rarer monsters are, painted vpon a pole, and v endure it. Here may you see the tyrant. Chapter 1000, Acp, I will not yield to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, and to be baited with the rabble's curse, though Bionane would be come to Dunsinane, and thou opposed, being of no woman born. Yet I will try the last, before my body. Chapter 1, throw my warlike shield, lay on Macduff, and damned be him that first cries hold enough. Exeunt, fighting, alarums. Enter fighting, and Macbeth slain. Retreat and flourish. Enter with drum and colours Malcolm. Sayward. Ross, thanes and soldiers. Chapter 1000, Al, I would the friends we miss were safer rewed. Say, some must go off, and yet by these I see so great a day as this is cheaply bought. Chapter 1000, Al, Macduff is missing and your noble son. Ross, your son my lord has paid a soldier's debt. He only lewd, but till he was a man, the which no sooner had his prowess confirmed. Chapter 1, and the Vienne shrinking station where he fought, but like a man he died. Say, then he is dead. Ross, I am brought off the field, your cause of sorrow. Chapter 1000, us not be measured by his worth, for then. Chapter 1, T hath no end. Say, had he his hurts before? Ross, I on the front. Say, why then, God's soldier be he. Had I as many sons, as I haw hairs. Chapter 1, would not wish them to a fairer death, and so his knell is knolled. Chapter 1000, Al, he's worth more sorrow, and that I'll spend for him. Say, he's worth no more. They say he parted well, and paid his score. And so God be with him, here comes near comfort. Enter Macduff, with Macbeth's head. Chapter 1000, Act, Hail King, for so thou art. Behold where stands Th. Usurper's cursed head, the time is free. Chapter 1, see thee compassed with thy kingdom's pearl, that speak my salutation in their minds, whose voices I desire allode with mine. Hail King of Scotland. All, hail King of Scotland. Flourish. Chapter 1000, Al, we shall not spend a large expense of time before we reckon with your Sirrah Lows. and make V's ewen with you, my thanes and kinsmen. Henceforth be earls, the first that ewer Scotland. Chapter 1. In such an honour named, what's more to do? Which would be planted newly with the time, as calling home our exiled friends abroad, that fled the snares of watchful tyranny, producing forth the cruel ministers of this dead butcher and his fiend-like queen, who, as 'tis thought by self and violent hands, took off her life, this and what needful else, that calls V upon V's, by the grace of grace. We will perform in measure, time and place. So thanks to all at once, and to each one, whom we enjoyed to see versus crowned at Scone. Flourish, exeant omnes. Venus,